Good day to all of us. Today, our group will discuss about the importance of business correspondence and the parts of business letter. But first, let us hear what is business correspondence and Marian will define it.
Business correspondence, the exchange of information in a written format for the process of business activities. It can take place between organizations or between the customers and the organizations. The correspondence refers to the written communication between persons. It deals with the numerous types of and forms of business letters.
In detail, we will explain what are the importance of business correspondence. We will start it with Bernadette, followed by April Joy, Edicel, yours truly, Maylin, Marinette, and Marinel.
Importance of business correspondence: maintain a proper relationship. It helps in maintaining a proper relationship between the parties. Business correspondence strengthens the business. It helps in the internal communication. It makes the communication within the organization more clear and precise.
Maintaining a proper relationship. Business correspondence strengthens the business. It also helps in the internal communication. It makes communication within organization more clear and precise. Nowadays, business activities are not confined to any one area or locality. The businessmen as well as customers are scattered throughout the country. Thus, there is a need of maintaining the proper relationship among them by using appropriate means of communication.
Serves as evidence. How can we say that a letter serves as evidence? A letter serves as evidence because we cannot expect a trader to memorize all facts and figures in a conversation that normally takes place among businessmen. Through letters, he can keep a records of all the facts. Thus, these letters can serve as evidence in case of dispute between two parties. Any written form of communication serves as evidence. A business correspondence helps the people in a business to keep a record of all the facts. These written records will serve as evidence.
Create and maintain goodwill is one of the reasons why business correspondence are important. Business letter can enhance and maintain goodwill between businessmen and customers. So how? Businessmen can send letters with the availability of a new product or sales or etc. While customers can send their letters about complaints and suggestions. So, as a result, the company grows because of the cordial relationship between the businessmen and the customers, and it allows to enhance the goodwill of a business.
Inexpensive and convenient. Though there are other modes of communication like telephone, telex, fax, etc., but business information can be provided and obtained economically and conveniently through letters. It is also a cheap and convenient form of business communication.
Formal communication. A business communication serves as a formal communication between two persons. It may be a seller and a buyer. It can be between an employee and the employer. The language used is formal and logical. It is also helps in removing the ambiguity and the doubts of the person involved in the business. The formal communication in business is followed and acceptable.
In the expansion of business. Business requires information regarding competing products, prevailing prices, promotion market activities, and etc. If the trader has to run from place to place to get information, it will end up doing nothing. It will simply result in loss of time, but through business letter, it can make all inquiries about the products and the markets. It can also receive orders from different countries and thus enhance sales. Also, it helps a business to achieve the set goal and it ensures the expansion of a business with no waste of time and proper utilization of manpower and resources. A business can expand, even the news of the expansion of business can be spread by it.
And now, lend your ear and we will explain to you what are the parts of business letter.
Business letter is a letter which is used by organizations to communicate in a professional way with customers, other companies, clients, shareholders, investors, and so on. Business letter uses formal language and specific format. Companies use it to convey important information and messages. An individual can also use it while writing an application for a job, cover letters, or any formal document. In this article, we will learn how to write a business letter in a professional way. A first business letter with some samples and examples.
The heading or letterhead. It usually contains the name and the address of the business or an organization. It can also have an email address, contact number, fax number, trademark, or logo of the business. This contains the return address that usually 2 or 3 lines with the date on the last line.
The date. We write the date on the right hand in the side corner of the letter below the heading. Date is important because it is the indication when the letter is written.
The reference line of business letter is a statement describing the main focus of the letter, a number for an account, and invoice or reference for previous correspondence. For example is request for refund, order number 12345, or ref case number JFL 432 and 1. The reference line is optional but can be important for the recipient if an account, claim, proposal, document number of any kind is the subject of the letter.
The inside address. It includes name, address, postal code, and job title of recipient. It must be mentioned after the reference. One must write inside address on the left-hand side of the sheets. This is the address you're sending your letter to. Make it as complete as possible. Include titles and names if you know them. This is always on the left margin. An inside address also helps recipient root the letter properly. It can help should the envelope be damaged and the address become unreadable.
What is subject or subject line in a business letter? The subject line of a business letter is the portion of the letter where you tell the reader about your subject. Although a subject line is not always necessary in a business letter, especially if the letter is brief, it can be helpful as it immediately conveys to the reader the subject of the letter. Where can we find the subject line of a business letter? The subject line of a business letter is often placed at the very top of the letter or directly under the subject's name. Subject lines are generally identified by use of the terms re, which means in regards to or just a subject. What is the content of a subject line in a business letter? The content of the subject line should be very short and to the point. Common examples of information used in subject line include a reference number associated with an order, a number associated with a case file, or a date and a corresponding event. Avoid lengthy subject lines as they will detract from the body of your letter. Use of a subject line can result in the writer receiving a quicker response.
Greetings. This is also known as the salutation. This contains the word to greet the recipient. Dear, respected, Sir, Madam is generally included in the greetings. In writing a business letter, we must remember the following. First, the greeting is usually ends with a comma. Second, the greetings in a business letter is always formal. And last, the type of a salutation depends upon and the relationship with the recipient.
The body. The body is written as text. A business letter is never handwritten. Depending on the letter style you choose, paragraphs may be indented. Regardless of format, skip a line between paragraphs. This is the main part of the letter. It also contains the actual message of the sender. The main body of the mail must be clear and simple to understand. The body of the letter is basically divided into three categories. First is the opening part. The first paragraph of the mail writing must state the introduction of the writer. It also contains the previous correspondence, if any. Second is the main part. This paragraph states the main idea or the reason for writing. It must be clear, concise, complete, and to the point. Third is the concluding part. It is the conclusion of the business letter. It shows the suggestions or the need of the action. The closing of the letter shows the expectation of the sender from the recipient. Always end your mail by courteous words like thank you, warm regards, look forward to hearing from your side, etc.
Complimentary closing. It is a humble way of ending a letter. It is written in accordance with the salutation. The most generally used complimentary close are yours faithfully, yours sincerely, and thanks and regards. This short, polite closing ends with a comma. It is either at the left margin or its left edge is in the center, depending on the business letter style that you used. It begins at the same column the heading does. The black style is becoming more widely used because there is no indenting to bother within the whole letter.
Signatures and writer's identification. It includes the signature, name, and designation of the sender. It can also include other details like contact number, address, and etc. The signature must be handwritten, just above the name of the sender. Keep two lines unless you have unusually wide or narrow lines, and type out the name to be signed. This customarily includes a middle initial, but does not have to. Women may indicate how they wish to be addressed by placing Miss or Mrs. or similar title for their name. The signature line may include a second line for a title if appropriate. The term by direction in the second line means that a superior is authorizing the signing.
Enclosures show the documents to the letter. The documents can be anything like check, draft, bills, receipt, invoices, and so on. It is listed one by one.
Copy circulation. It is needed when the copies of the letter are sent to other person. It is denoted as CC.
The sender can mention it when he wants to add something other than the message in the body of the letter. It is written as PS, meaning postscript.
Thank you for listening and we hope that you have learned something about our discussions.